Thabo Meeko has outlined how he plans to spend his more than 600 million rand budget. The Free State MEC for Economic, Small Business Development and Tourism, as well as Environmental Affairs, plans to prioritize tourism and small business development. He joins us now for more on this discussion. MEC, thank you very much for joining us this morning. And of course, tourism is one of the bedrocks of the country's economic growth. And in the Free State in particular, there are many issues that have prevented its growth. And maybe just give us a sense of the immediate action plan when it comes to the revival and maintenance of tourism in the province.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. Good morning to you and your listeners. We have outlined our plans for this year, which are anchored on around 3 to 4 areas, tourism being part of it. We have acknowledged that we have not done sufficiently as a province to take an advantage of our strategic location in the country. You would know that we're connecting about 5 to 6 provinces, including a country called Lesotho. Our resolution is that we will call and partner with credible institutions or private people to help us to take advantage of these locations in our country. And these will be individuals who are invited throughout our country to come and make a study about us. What is it that we are not exploiting as an opportunity? There are other areas which we are unlocking around the governance, in particular the entity which is responsible. We said it has not been able to perform to its maximum. Now there's got to be a restructuring. Those are governance issues, and they need a platform where they need to be approved, and immediately after that we'll then pronounce our plans. But we're encouraging the people of the Free State to start touring their own province and to ensure that they help us as well to sell what is it that our province can give to the people of South Africa and the international world. We have a number of activities which we ourselves are undertaking and we have not been able to utilize. We have Makufe, and Makufe must be able to help us that we're able to sell to the rest of the world about our province. We've got a number of activities. One of the activities which we are going to embark upon this year is that in partnership with my municipality of Machabi, we'll be starting to revive the Pakisa Raceway, inviting international activities and national activities within that area. And that in itself should be able to help us to profile our province. But lastly, and quite a very, very, very important as well, is the fact that we want to invite the national institutions like your Metro Awards, like your all these mega national activities to start to notice the Free State and to take a decision also to give us an opportunity to host, so that we profile that capacity and then we can host the rest of the country with regard to those activities. In themselves, they'll help us to profile tourism in the Free State.
MEC, a part of that plan that you've just described for us is setting aside just over 50 million rand for the refurbishment and maintenance of resorts and other places where people can spend their time when they visit the province. How will these resorts and other places of stay or accommodative spaces be chosen? Is there a selection process that will be done here, or does it go across the board for all the infrastructure that accommodates people who visit the province?
Look, we're premising from an advantage point. You'd remember that some of these resorts were places which were used to house when we were battling COVID-19, and huge resources were invested into this resort. Some of them are even state-of-the-art as a result of that investment. So we will just be tightening up. As I said, that we are going to invite experts to partner with us, to advise us that what is it that we can do extraordinarily. And part of the reason is this allocation of these resources, so that those areas which are making people not to choose our resort, we can then attend to such and ensure that all these challenges are being attended to, and our resort can also be part and parcel of the resort of choice when people visit our province.
MEC, how are you dealing with small businesses that grapple with issues of municipalities not providing basic services like water, and then, of course, the energy crisis, and, of course, they having to then continue to contribute to the provincial economy? What is the Office of the MEC doing to partner or work with small businesses to ensure that they can mitigate the bad effects of the energy crisis, but also the lack of service delivery in some parts of the province?
SMMEs are our core business as a department. Besides, there is a national understanding, which I think is shared by many colleagues, that SMMEs is our recourse, particularly when it comes to employment creation, let alone, as a platform to also, transform the economy and ensure that new entrants are being assisted and supported so that they can join the mainstream and participate. We've met already. We've started with a program to meet municipalities, and we're highlighting these issues as well from the point of view of investment in our province, investment in many municipalities. That there's not going to be an investor who will take a decision to invest in our province if issues of infrastructure remains a challenge. Our first meeting, we started with Machave municipality, where the Pakisa Raceway is located, and we've agreed around a number of things, and they've committed that indeed they are going to dedicate a sizable of their budget to be dedicated towards improving infrastructure and ensuring that it becomes a conducive environment for investment, and ensuring that our SMMEs are able to flourish, because indeed infrastructure can frustrate many of them to be able to help municipalities to provide services. So we're already on top of that thing. Part of our plans in this financial year, we said we'll engage investors. We've started doing it. That as a province, we must also contribute towards this challenge of energy crisis. Our plan is that we need to, create a solar plant, massive solar plant, somewhere in the province, in the Harip district, to ensure that we produce solar panels, and then we start first with areas where we've got control, as part and parcel, of course, of ensuring that we bring a relief from the ESCOM grid.
Yeah. MEC, just two final questions for you. The first being the resorts and the reserves that will be getting the refurbishments and maintenance, part of that 50 million rand budget that you're setting aside. Are those belonging to small and medium businesses, or do they belong to the state in terms of them being government owned at all? And then a final thought from you, a reflection on the passing of the former Free State Premier, Ms. Beatrice Marshoff. You look like you're dressed to attend her funeral this morning. If you could reflect on the legacy that she has left in the province.
Look, resorts are government-owned resorts, and of course there are those private, but our resources will be dedicated to those of government, as we said, to ensure that they also become areas of choice. We have a number of interventions that we're going to do for our SMMEs. We committed to upscale our approach. Our entity, which equally has been experiencing challenges, we are positioning ourselves to reconfigure it and ensure that it is able to look for investment, to look for national, resources from our national finance developmental institutions. And part of what we're saying is that we need to shift thinking and approach in terms of how we are going to fund SMMEs. We need to discourage a standalone project when we provide both financial and non-financial support to the SMMEs. We have made an analysis and a study that says part of why SMME struggles, especially those that are supported by government, was the issue of the market. Up 40 to 60% of all of those who are assisted are struggling to operate, and they are facing almost death. And we said our approach will have to change. It has got to be that of value chain, and ensuring that there are linkages in what we do.
MEC,
And
unfortunately,
government is a primary market.
we have run out of time. Unfortunately, there we cannot finish our conversation. That is Thabo Meeko, who's the Free State MEC for Economic, Small Business Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs.